If I could go back and talk to my 18-year-old self again, oh boy, would I have so much to say. From insecurities, from friendships, and to not relying on God's timing, being 21 has taught me so much. And if you're 18, 19, or in your early 20s, I hope this video will give you the advice that I wish I had. So let's talk about all the things that I wish I knew when I was 18. So for the first thing that I want to talk about is to not let your insecurities limit you. And just going back to thinking when I was like 18, I think that would have been like high school, but I'm still going to do like 16, 17. But I just remember like certain insecurities, like I didn't really like my skin, I didn't really like my voice. Like I don't know, a lot of people I guess my voice didn't sound like as masculine. And so some people did think I was like maybe gay or like they didn't know, so people would be like asking and stuff. And that would say that that was a big insecurity for me. It was even kind of hard to say that for a little second, but that was a big insecurity for me only because it might have only been like two people in middle school that would have thought something. And you got to think, I mean, we're going through puberty and stuff, but like I used to think like, okay, well now I can't talk a certain way, or y'all know me, I'd be chaotic, I'd be laughing, I'd be joking. Now I was like, okay, well now I can't say certain jokes because they might think I'm coming off gay, or like say if I was, I'm just meeting regular dudes, like I have a lot of male friends, I'm like, okay, now I gotta talk a certain way because I don't want that dude to think maybe I like him. Like just letting stuff limit me. Say if it was like my skin. Now I take care of my skin. I'm a little grown. I'm mature now, but I just think back then, I was like, well, I got a bunch of acne, a bunch of oily skin. My skin is not the best, and so I would let that like affect my confidence, and so I would think like even back then, like because I even think back then, like say for like girls or like women, I didn't used to always go up to certain people, just certain women, because I'm like, okay, well now my skin's ugly or my hair's dry, or I'm ugly, so of course they're not going to want to talk to me. So just like don't let insecurities limit you, because at the end of the day, like a lot of those insecurities are one, they're just mental factors. Because even with the voice thing, like I would ask, well, back, I don't ask now, but back then I used to ask so many people, and people would be like, oh, I didn't even think that and all that. So it's like I could have limit myself from, meeting potential, people to talk to, or just meeting friends because of insecurity that I couldn't even necessarily control, or insecurity that I kind of brought up myself. And that could have stopped me from having genuine connection with people, genuine experiences, meeting new people, meeting new friends. Even with the skin stuff, I'm like, me being kind of scared to go up to people, like that's just doing me a disservice. And so that's why I was saying that like you shouldn't let insecurities limit you, because life, there's so much for us to live for, there's so much for us to experience. And you coming up with something kind of man-made, because insecurities is all in your head. You coming up with something that's in your head is literally just limiting your life, and limiting you from future experiences and just future interactions with, if it's regard to people, if it's regard to opportunities. So don't let insecurities limit you. And so for the second thing that I want to talk about would be your plans might not fall through, and that's completely okay. Because like definitely back in high school, my whole entire like, even though I had like 4.0, I was in like National Honor Society and stuff. My biggest goals then was to like run track for like a D1 school, or just go on like an athletic scholarship. And I was getting like academic scholarships, like for example for all the schools that I applied for. It was like Virginia Tech, GMU, University of Virginia, and I think it was VCU. For all of them, except Virginia, I didn't hear back. But for like all of them, I got like scholarships for, or at least 2 to 4 years. So it was like the academics was fine, but it was just like the sports wasn't there. And the reason I had put that to like tell myself that it's okay, because of course you guys could see now from the vlogs and stuff that I'm not running track, and I wasn't able to make it on the team and get on the team. But I remember like my freshman year, or kind of like my senior year, kind of knowing, and then going to my freshman year and getting the confirmation that like I couldn't run. I just remember being like, so what is my purpose now? Because I spent all of my high school grinding for it. So I was like, okay, what is my purpose? God, what is my goal? Like I spent 4 years working on something that kind of fell through. What am I supposed to do? And so that's why I was saying that it's okay for your plans not to fall, because even, to go into a college way, I end up switching my major. I'm doing YouTube now. So, like I said, I mean, you could just find different passions. I've always wanted to do YouTube, so it's kind of crazy because it's like, one door closed, another one opens. And so, yeah, I mean, it's okay. I know many people do businesses fall through. There's some people that go to school that end up dropping out of school. So I would just tell myself that it was okay. Because I literally remember literally just thinking, like, okay, without track, what am I? If I don't do track, what else is there to do? Like, I literally, like, that's all I spent my summers on. That was literally why I even started going into the gym, getting muscle in the first place was to get faster for a track. I literally fixed my diet for track, drinking a lot more water for track. Like, there was so many things I did for that sport. So it was like, once it was taken away from me or once that plan fell through, I was like, what am I or what is there to do? But it's like, there's always something there, especially if you are Christian. God definitely has us on, just different journeys. And so, yeah, I mean, it's completely okay that, for your first original plan, it didn't go through, but God has you on something else. So that's why I would say that, if I could go back and tell myself that it's okay to venture off, it's okay to do different things, and it's just okay if your first ever plan falls through. And so for the third thing that I want to talk about is to learn to take risk. And I guess this goes back to the last point, but it was the same thing with YouTube. Like, I feel like I didn't vocalize how much I wanted to do YouTube until I got into college, but it's always been a thing into the back of my mind. And I even think about it now, like, especially since I wasn't able to run track, how special it would have been if I would have been able to, record my last track meets. I got my first medal, I was on my podium. Like, there was so many accomplishments that I did. And so that just, that's why I want to say, to learn to take risk, even though that goes back to, like I said, your original plan might not go through. That's how you would take risk. I know some people went to college outside of their hometown. Some people did a different major. I mean, just a lot of things, like I'm doing YouTube. This whole thing is a whole risk. I have a whole setup right here that, might not be worth nothing, but at least that is what I choose. That is a risk that I want to take. I've read books, The Psychology of Money. Some of us might just fall through the risk and reward factor, but at the end of the day, there's always the reward possibility there. So always remember, to take risk in, I mean, just anything, even if it's not social media based, if it's entrepreneurship, like I said, taking on, a new major, like just being able to believe in yourself. Like I said, there's so many things out there. I definitely, like, at 21, I know, like, there's so many things out there. You could be in the military. You could, hey, go build a house, be a construction, be a carpenter. Like, there's so many things. But definitely, when I was 18, like, literally, I was like, okay, I was electrical engineering. I'm switching my major. What? Like, I just literally remember being stuck. Like, no, like, we had to, we just had to keep progressing. I literally remember, like I said, when I was able to run track, I was like, okay, so what else? I was switching my major. Okay, so what else? So that's what I was saying, to just be able to learn to take risk. I mean, just anything. Apply to that dream school. Apply to that internship. Apply to that job. Apply to that. It might be an Ivy League school. You just never know what the opportunities could do. Apply to that scholarship. You just never know. Even with track, I know some people did like JUCO or D3. I could have even took a risk and did JUCO up here or D3, but I just remember being so, oh, like, I gotta go D2, D1 and all this stuff. But it's like, what if I would have taken that risk, went JUCO, or I think it's in AIA or D3, and went to those lower division schools, and I could have transferred up. Like, I could have just, like I said, I could have just did some more. I just remember sitting there and was like, oh, I can't go D1, and I was all upset. So just understand, to be able to take risk. I mean, life is so big, it's bigger than us, and I feel like it's an ocean of vast opportunities and experience, and you shouldn't sit there and strip yourself away from being able to experience that stuff because you're not taking the risk. So be able to take risk. Once again, it's okay if you take the risk and it fails, but let's be trying and try something new. And that's what I want to say for number 3. And so for number 4, kind of been hinting on this the whole entire video, but just understanding God's timing over yours, because especially I think back, I remember I was talking about this with one of my good friends. I'll mention because she's been here. I was talking about this with Anaya, way back, I think my freshman or sophomore year, and we was like, it's kind of crazy because like even the friends I met now have really encouraged me and helped me change into the person I am now. But I was like, if I would have ran track at the school, I probably would have never met them. I would have had different opportunities because I know all the track people, they kind of stay together, and I think even they house together. So it's like I never would have met my freshman group, my freshman friends. So once again, it's like everything happens for a reason. Like I met those people. Even one of the people I met my freshman year helped motivate me and push me to even do YouTube. So I'm like, that would have been crazier. Like, since I didn't have track and I needed that extra time, like if I would have had track, I might have never ever started YouTube. That's why I'm like, everything happens for a reason, because it was like literally as soon, even to look back, like literally as soon as I was like stopping track, stopping the grind, slowing it down, like that's when the YouTube thoughts started to come. So I'm like, maybe that was God's timing. Or even, like I said, just even to go back to the risk, you could risk trying to do a business, trying to go start something, and God might be putting you on hold then, but it might take a year, and that just might be your time. You know what I mean? Even when I was switching my major, that wasn't for me. That season, that time of me studying for that subject just might not have been for me, and now I'm IT, and look how far we've come. So yeah, just being able to understand, praying, scriptures. There's a lot of encouraging scriptures. There's Psalm, there's Proverbs. Proverbs is the book of wisdom. I would highly encourage reading that. And just doing that, even definitely reading my Bible more. Definitely reading my Bible more. I'm pretty sure if I would have read my Bible a lot more than 18, I would have wrapped up a lot of stuff I was trying to do, thinking to do, and had in my mind to do, because I would have just know that from God. So, but yeah, that's just pretty much I have to say for number 4. Just really understanding God's timing. Understand, if you read the Bible, I mean, you of course you would know, but I definitely know at 18 I was not doing that. So definitely just being more honed in on God, praying. I don't necessarily believe in like manifestation, but I would say that like with reading books like Atomic Habits, like making your environment ready for stuff. So like in a spiritual way, you could be praying consistently, having your prayers be more intentional. I definitely know prayer, like more asking of God to like help you and to guide you through something instead of you trying to force your situation through Him. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's all I want to say for number 4, and let's go into our last topic. And so for our last one, this kind of relates to all the last 4, but for number 5, I said learning discipline more than motivation, and I definitely think that is the biggest thing, because I feel like it's so hard to do things through motivation now. It's the same thing with YouTube. Like right now, I think it's like 9 o'clock. I ain't even ate. Yeah, it's 9. It's 9. It's currently 9:57. I ain't even ate dinner. It's 10 o'clock. This video still got to be uploaded. I got a trip next week. A video's got to be posted for there. I work all this week. Video still got to be posted. I mean, are we not going to get the 1K or not? So that's why I'm like, you just have to be more disciplined, even when it comes to like when I first started at the gym, or just I know when people do things, starting a business, they be like, oh, it takes so much time. I have no more free time. You're either going to be that billionaire or you're not. Like, that's what I realized, even with YouTube, it's like, I'm either going to get the 1K or I'm not. Like, I mean, no one else can make you post. No one else can. I can't make other people want to subscribe, want to watch the videos, want to view me, and I'm literally not posting content. That makes no sense. So, yeah, and I feel like motivation only lasts like a day or two. Like, I think when I clicked start your channel or make your channel publish, that was like, I literally think the last ounce of motivation I had for YouTube, because I feel like that drive is only going to be there for so long. Like, hey, my first subscriber, first 100, like, that's only going to last so long. And then after that, it's like, yes, you're going to have to force yourself to edit. Yes, you're going to have to force yourself to film. Like I said, I haven't eaten. Still got the clothes on I had all day. And I mean, who's going to get the 1K? Someone's got to get it. So like I said, just being more disciplined. That's why I was saying, for number 4, God, because it's like spiritually, you can ask God for that strength, or I mean, mental. I ask God mentally, physically, and spiritually every night. Give me that strength for the next day. So you could be asking that. That's what I was saying, being more to your word and your Bible, because that to correlate. So, but yeah, just be more disciplined. I know even a lot of people, when they start to do things like going to the gym, they'll be like, oh, this is too hard. I can't do this. But it's like, I feel like they're trying to rely more on motivation and discipline. And I'll put the definition of discipline on the screen somewhere, but discipline is basically you doing something we don't want to. So I'm like, you have to find that strength and that force to keep pushing. So, but like I said, these are all the things that I would say to myself when I was 18. Because I just feel like when I was 18, I mean, yeah, you're 18, so it does give young, but I do just feel like I was just doing whatnots and just doing stuff instead of having like a straight path and a straight goal. So yeah, be more disciplined. Force yourself to do it because at the end of the day, you're gonna enjoy it in the future. You're gonna enjoy it in the long run because you didn't when you didn't want to. Because you have to think about everybody else. If we're all doing stuff when we wanted to, then we probably would have never gotten anything done. So yeah, that's what to say for number 5. And so, this is my first time recording with the camera. Talking about overheating. That's I'm talking that long, but yeah. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. If anybody out there who is younger, let me know if this spoke to you, especially like the insecurities or stuff not falling through. I definitely wish I would have watched some video like this when I was 18 because, like I said, I just feel like, especially with no track, I mean, just a lot of stuff. Like, I moved up here in the DMV. I was from Georgia, so I was just thinking, like, oh, I'm not going to college with my friends. I mean, just thinking everything else. I'm not going to college with my friends. I got to meet new friends, new location. Like, I just feel like when I was 18, 19, it was just a bunch of whatnots going on, and it was no, like, goal driven. Like, if you were to ask me right now, I could write you down 10 of my goals, 5 of my goals. Like, it gave work ethic, it gave head forward, it gave faith, prayer warrior, you know what I mean? Like just something. I just feel like 18 I was just doing a bunch of whatnots. Like what literally was I doing? So but yeah, just hopefully this video touched anybody. um I like to do these little videos, even I know sometimes I sit down, you gotta say your business. I'll be want to say my business, but if we're trying to be close, I'm trying to talk to somebody out there, just as if you talk to your friend, you and y'all twinning them, and we got to be twinning them. So that's what it is. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna draw this out too long. But I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know any more sit down topics you want me to discuss, and if anybody out there this really touched you, let me know in the comments below. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. Road to 600 subs, and I'm gonna see you on the next video.